Doctor, good afternoon. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And congratulations to Mishra sir for elected as a secretary unanimously.
Congratulations, Dr. Sushil Kumar.
Thank you, Dr. Sir. Thank you.
Being re-elected as President of the Indian Society with Science, and Dr. J.S. Mishra for Secretary Chief, and Dr. Chaudhary for Treasurer Chief. So, my hearty congratulations to you all.
Dr. Rao sir, namaskar. Dr. Chauhan sir, namaste.
Hello, Dr. Shah.
Yeah.
Today I am actually out, staying in a hotel, so I may go after some time, but I will attend as much as possible.
Most welcome, Dr. Sir. Most welcome.
And here it's already 7:30. And congratulations. What is this about?
This is about Indian Society of Beat Science Executive Office Bearers.
Okay, very good. But Dr. Sushil Kumar was already there.
No, it is tenure is over. The next tenure.
Okay, very good. Congratulations, Dr. Shah.
Thank you, Dr. Sir. Thank you.
Dr. Das.
Yeah, Doctor. Huh?
You also got something or what?
No. I didn't get anything. I just congratulated them. Huh?
Okay.
Because Dr. Sushil Kumar as President, Dr. J.S. Mishra as Secretary, and Dr. B.K. Chaudhary as Treasurer of the Indian Society of Weed Science.
Very good, very good. Okay, I will.
हो रहा है
Dr. Sushil Kumar.
Yeah, Dr. Sir.
I beg apology because I could not attend your lecture. That day we had Krishi Mela, and I had also lectured at that time.
Yeah.
I had a Krishi Mela.
No problem, Dr. Sir. I think that those all things are available on the YouTube also.
Acha.
मतलब we are trying that whatever the lectures are being delivered here, we are putting on the YouTube.
YouTube, acha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So of course that was on the that you know that was the recommendation
25th
of
of, yeah,
our
it was
IRC
20,
also.
yeah, it was 25th February, on 25th February.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that day we had Krisi Mela, 25th
Yeah.
to 27th.
yeah, Dr. Sahab, yeah. In fact, Dr. Sahab, that lecture was based on the recommendations of RAC.
RSC.
That DWR should work on the weeds of national importance.
Yes, ma'am.
So that was very important topic, in fact, and we are working now on that one. So I think Dr. Misra sir, I think should we start or we should wait 2 or 3 minutes more? हाँ, Dr. Abraham साहब नमस्ते.
हाँ, नमस्ते.
How are you, sir? बहुत दिन बाद.
Fine.
After long gap, you are visible, sir.
Yeah, very good, very good, very good work anyway. I thought of joining you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good.
Good,
Sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Dr.
Yeah,
Abraham,
all the
Dr.
best.
Abraham, Dr. Rao.
Good.
All the best.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Namaste.
Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Rao. Yeah, Dr. A.S. Rao, Dr. Siti Abraham, and others
Yeah,
who are present over here. Good afternoon to all of you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good, sir. To you.
Good afternoon to all. So we can start now, or we'll wait still for 1 or 2 minutes?
I think, Dr. Sobha, we should wait 2 or 3 minutes. People are joining continuously.
Yes,
So once we will start, so better to wait 2-3 minutes here. What about Dr. Misra?
Okay, no problem.
So meanwhile, we can talk with our old friends. Dr. A.S. Rao is seeing, we are seeing. Oh, Dr. Gangaiya Saab, namaste. We are seeing Dr. Gangaiya also here. Nice to see him after a long gap. I think his mic is mute.
Good afternoon, Abraham sir. This is Chinnamathu.
Yeah,
Dr. Chinnamathu.
Dr. Chinnamathu.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
Dr. Chinnamathu. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Das. How are you?
Fine.
Yeah. Gangaiya sir, please unmute your mic, sir. Yeah.
Dr. Ganga is there.
Gangaiya sir, still in Andaman or back to Thailand?
AMR.
Oh,
Yeah, Dr. Ganga, Dr. Ganga Saab, namaskar, Dr. Ganga. Namaskar.
Gangaiya Saab, namaste.
नमस्ते सुशील साहब.
So अभी now you are enjoying Hyderabad climate, Dr. Saab? Nice.
दोस्त का बगल में बैठा है ना सब.
जी.
मिश्रा जी का सीट हम आगे किया इधर.
हाँ, या अब मिश्रा जी तो यहाँ पर आ गए हैं, तो इसलिए आपका वहाँ पहुँचना जरूरी था.
रिले क्रॉपिंग हो रहा है, रिले क्रॉपिंग हो रहा है.
Yeah, you are right, Dr. Saab. Let people 100 has joined. I think Dr. Sobha, I think we should start now.
Yes.
If you all agree, we should start, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon to all. And this is our third webinar series in which Indian Society of Weed Science, in collaboration of Directorate of Weed Research, we are continuously arranging every month a webinar for all the weed scientists of India, or not only in India, all the members of Indian Society of Weed Science. And this is a successful series which we are going every month. And apart from this, some of the webinars are also being organized by our AICRP centers. So there are many webinars are nowadays conducting by us or by our partners, co-partners. So I would like to say good afternoon to all and welcome to this webinar. And we have with us Dr. J.S. Mishra, Director of this Weed Science Institute, Weed Research Institute, and Dr. Sushil Kumar, Indian Society of Weed Science President, and all other few our office bearers and all our ISWS members, as well as weed scientists, seniors. I could see Dr. Yadu Raju Dr. Gangaiya, Dr. S.B.R. Shetty, and Dr. Chinumuthu, and few other our senior members. So welcome to all of you in this series. And this is about this series. I think everybody knows that this is a very important subject, like the quarantine weed and weed risk analysis, because in India we don't have much expert of this field. So organizing this webinar at this stage is really a need of ours, which we have identified in organizing today. So just for your information, just to start with a starter, I'm just saying definition of FAO. Like a quarantine pest weed is defined as a pest of potential economic importance to the area, endangered thereby and not yet present. They are present but not widely distributed and being officially controlled. So this is the definition of quarantine weed, and much will be taken care by our speaker today. And just for the information to the everybody attending this webinar, that in India also we have one invasive weeds which was identified as a quarantine weed by our Bangalore center, like Ambrosia cycloleptia. And thing is that this was not spread too much. It was spread in only 350 to 400 acres only, and it was controlled in proper times. So it has not become that much invasion as other weeds have become invasion. And in many countries, they have very clear-cut rules and regulation for phytosanitary measure. Sometimes, like farmers feel that traders of East feel that agricultural trade would be eroded by the imposition of additional and unjustified restriction in the form of sanitary and phytosanitary barriers. So to clear all this, the confusion, this lecture is definitely going to educate us in this field. And with this, I would like to invite Dr. J.S. Mishra, Director of our institute, for his inaugural address.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Sobha.
Thanks.
My senior colleagues, Dr. N.T. Adraju sir, Dr. S.B.R. Shetty, and most of the senior peoples from AICRP centers and from different ICR institutes, scientists and students from different agriculture universities, and dear participants, very good afternoon to you all. As Madam Sobha already told that alien and invasive weeds are causing much threat to the productivity and biodiversity. And in that context, I think today's webinar is very much important. And as we know that with the free trade and tariff and free movement of the things from worldwide, one country to other country. So in that particular era, the quarantine weeds have become much importance. The topic is of course not new. Even when we joined in ICR and at the Weed Science Institute, even then this was much discussed that the quarantine weeds and weed risk analysis of those alien and invasive weeds. And I know, if I know correctly, that it was the early 90s. Till then, there was no position of the weed scientist in the quarantine division of the country. And it was the early 90s when 2-3 positions of the assistant director of weeds were announced. And then 2 my own colleagues from DWR were appointed as a assistant director weeds. And later on, Dr. Mulchand, the guest speaker of the day, he joined that particular department for the quarantine weeds as a assistant director of weed science. So since then, actually, our country was able to identify the alien and invasive weeds, and they could prepare some of the points, some of the characteristics, some of the yardsticks by which they can, they were able to identify some of the weeds coming from the other parts of the world. Because we know that a lot of trade and seeds and planting materials are by other bases, say for example, by accidentally, because when we are moving to one part to another part, So by way of the attachment with the clocks or with the vehicles, so many accidentally the alien and invasive beads are coming. So there was an urgent need to have a policy to strong quarantine so that the alien and invasive beads which have already come, like Parthenium, like Chromolina, Phalaris, and there are so many other beads. But because of this policy, now at least no more beads are able to come. Of course, in year 2006, we imported a lot of wheat from Australia, and again there was a problem that some of the beads have come. So immediately Government of India formulated some invasive management program, and we could find out some 1 or 2 bead species, and we were able to control them. But still, as we discussed other day when Dr. Sushil Kumar presented that the beads have the national importance. So keeping those points in view, I think the identification of quarantine beads, their characterization, and then categorize them to the beads of national importance or beads of the state importance, it is very much required. And I think the guest speaker of the day, Dr. Moolchand, he is having much knowledge in that ministry in the quarantine department, and presently he is placed in the National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources. So I think he will be able to discuss in much detail, and we are eager to hear him. So in this way, I think today's lecture, we will be benefited in a big way. So before taking much time, so I think we should invite Dr. Moolchand so that we can get benefited with this lecture. So thank you very much.
Sir, here before Dr. Moolchand will join and deliver our special lecture on quarantine bead, I would like to invite Dr. Sushil Kumar for his comment for this webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Shobha. Yeah, I do agree. First of all, good afternoon to everybody, particularly to my senior colleagues like Dr. Yaduraju, Dr. Chinnamuthu, Dr. A.S. Rao, and so many, Dr. Abraham, sir, I was seeing here. So with this, what I want to tell the audience that before Dr. Moolchand start his lecture, I would like to tell about Dr. Moolchand also that he did his postdoctorate fellowship in Brisbane, Australia, where he learned a lot about the weed risk analysis, as well as he learned a lot about the quarantine weeds. And he continued his that interest after coming into India also, and he did a lot of work on these aspects, particularly when he was assistant director there in plant production and quarantine department. Then he was able to intercept a lot of weeds. And later on, after transferring from there or joining Indian Council of Agriculture Research in NBPGR, he has continued this interest. And I'm sure that he will be able to justify his work as well as his knowledge, and he will be able to share all that knowledge with us. And we all know, as Dr. J.S. Misra, he told that how much importance these alien invasive weeds have. And particularly on the advice of our REC and the chairmanship of Dr. Yaduraju sir, we started a brainstorming session on that aspect, weeds of national importance. And you will find that most of the weeds of national importance will come under the quarantine weed scenario. They have penetrated, anyhow, they have come into India, and now they are making a menace. And we all know also that in 2006, when there was import of wheat, then from this directorate, this was requested to Ministry of Agriculture that a program should run to find out the weeds, whether the weeds are coming through that import material or not. And NIWS project was granted by the Agriculture Ministry, and through that also we intercepted some weed species. We all know the one most successful example of quarantine eradication weed of this Psilostychia, Ambrosia Psilostychia, which was told by Dr. Sobha. Yes, in the whole in India, in the history, I think this is the simple single weed species for which we are making complete control of that eradication program. Otherwise, generally we are managing those things, but there we are able to confine that species. There our ACRIP centers of Karnataka is working well there, and also NIPHM center also worked there nicely. So I think in the current scenario, this topic is very important. We will be, I think, we will be able to know that how much weeds have been intercepted so far, what airports or what seaports are involved where this sort of interception is being done, and how it is being done, as well as how to get the weed risk analysis. I think Dr. Moolchand will deliver all these things. And now I invite Dr. Moolchand to speak on this subject. Before that, if Dr. Sobha Sondhya wants to say something, she can say.
Thank you, Dr. Shishir Kumar, for introducing our today's speaker, Dr. Moolchand Singh, who is a principal scientist at National Bureau of Genetic Resources. And he has vast experience on weed risk analysis, quarantine weeds and associated risks. Before that, I must say thanks to Dr. Mishra also that he has raised the very valid point that it is really very true and essential to characterize and understand all quarantine weeds and associated risk by them on ecosystem when they enter to India along with imported commodity. So because already Dr. Shishir Kumar has given a brief biodata of Dr. Moolchand, so I will straightforward request our today's speaker, Dr. Moolchand, to kindly deliver his talk and educate us and make us more informative in a very rarest of the rare topic in weed science, which is, I think, you are the most suitable speaker for this. Thank you, Dr. Moolchand.
Thank you very much, madam. Very good afternoon to everyone, most respected seniors and friends. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Dr. Sushil Kumar sir and Dr. J.S. Misra sir for becoming president and secretary respectively for our Indian Society of Weed Science. And I also express my gratitude to Dr. Sushil Kumar sir, our Honorable President of our Indian Society of Weed Science, and Dr. J.S. Misra sir, the Director of Directorate of Weed Research, Jabalpur, and also the Secretary of our Indian Society of Weed Science for giving me this opportunity to deliver a talk on quarantine weed and weed risk analysis. So as Dr. Sobha rightly told that a quarantine weed is a weed of potential economic importance to the area endangered thereby and not yet present there, or present but not widely distributed and being officially controlled. So this is the definition of quarantine weed. And now we will discuss about the what is plant quarantine, what is the importance of weeds in plant quarantine, how weeds introduce, how do weeds gain entry into our country, and what are the plant quarantine measures to prevent the introduction of exotic weeds into our country, and then how actually we conduct the inspection and we intercept and identify the weed seeds in our plant quarantine system. Then some weed species, some important weed species which we have intercepted in plant quarantine, and then we will discuss about the weed risk assessment. Is that screen is visible to everyone?
No, no, earlier it was visible, but now it is not. Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay.
Make it full screen. Make it it is full screen, Dr. Sir.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's okay, Dr. Sir.
So what is plant quarantine? Plant quarantine actually is a government endeavor which is enforced through legislative measures to regulate the introduction of seeds, planting material, plant products, soil, living organism, etc. in order to prevent inadvertent introduction of pests, pathogens and weeds which are harmful to the agriculture of our country, and if they are introduced, then prevent their establishment and further spread. Then what is the importance of plant quarantine? As you all know that a number of foreign pests entered subcontinent in the early 20s because of the inadequate quarantine control. And also the significance of plant quarantine has increased in view of globalization and liberalization in international trade of plants and plant material in the wake of sanitary and phytosanitary agreement under WTO. And also to prevent the introduction and spread of exotic pests that are destructive to crops by restricting the import of plant products, and to facilitate safe global trade in agriculture by assisting the producers and exporters by providing a technically competent and reliable phytosanitary certificate system to meet the requirements of trading partners. Pathogens of minor consequences in their native environment may be destructive in a new environment. And plant quarantine is vital to prevent the introduction of non-indigenous pests and disease into a country, or to intercept and eradicate them before they can be widespread and well established. Then I would like to give a brief about the history of plant quarantine in India. Actually, 1914, the then British government enacted the Restrictive Insect and Pest Act. And in 1946, the plant quarantine processing of exotic germplasm initiated at the then Imperial Agriculture Research Institute, now Indian Agriculture Research Institute for Plant Introduction Scheme. And the same year, the National Plant Protection Organization of India, that is Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage, was established. And in 1956, Plant Quarantine Unit in the Division of Entomology and Plant Pathology established at IRI New Delhi. In 1961, Plant Introduction Division was established in IRI. Germplasm exchange and plant quarantine activities were increased manifold. And in 1967, Division of Nematology was established at IRI, which housed Nematology Unit of Plant Quarantine. In 1976, NBPGR was established, and in 1981, post-entry quarantine of imported chemically treated wheat, barley, triticale, and other plants started in isolation nursery. And in 1983, post-entry quarantine for detection of seed-transmitted virus in exotic legumes was started. In 1984, under the DIP Act, one regulation was enacted, which was plant, fruits, and seeds. In short, it was PFS order, 1984. And then in 1988, because new policy on seed development was brought by the Ministry of Agriculture. And in that policy, the then Prime Minister, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, he actually realized that our farmers should get high quality seeds. So this new policy on seed development was brought by Ministry of Agriculture, and the quantitative restriction of the import of seed material for propagation was lifted. And then in 1989, the PFS order was revised to meet the requirements of new policy on seed development and increasing imports. Then in 2003, actually, we thought that this PFS word is not appropriate. So the legislation name was changed to Plant Quarantine Regulation of Import into India Order 2003. Then these are the agencies which are involved in plant quarantine. Number one, our National Plant Protection Organization, that is Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage, which is located in Faridabad. Then National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources, New Delhi, which is an institute under the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Then Crop Specific Research Institute of Indian Council of Agricultural Research. Then Head of Plant Pathology Division of State Agriculture Universities, because they have been made designated inspection authority of post-entry quarantine. And then State Agriculture and Horticulture Departments, because they are given the powers to issue the phytosanitary certificate for the commodities which are meant for export. Then here I would like to tell about our National Plant Protection Organization. So its name is Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage. It was established in 1946 as an attached office under the Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India. Its headquarters is in Faridabad, and it is headed by the Plant Protection Advisor to the Government of India. This organization handles bulk import and export of seed and planting material for commercial purpose, and its PQ mandates are legal prevention of pest of quarantine significance, eradication, suppression, and containment of exotic pests, fulfilling obligations of importing countries by certification of exportable plants or plant products. Actually, under the International Plant Protection Convention, for which our country is a signatory, it is the responsibility of our country that whatever agriculture produce is being exported from our country, that should be certified as per the quarantine regulation of the importing country. Then these are the plant quarantine station all over the country. The National Plant Quarantine Station is located at Rangpuri, New Delhi, near in Basant Kunj. Then there are some regional plant quarantine station, Amritsar, Chennai, Kolkata, and Mumbai. And recently, the Bangalore station also has been made the regional plant quarantine station. So now, presently, there are 5 regional plant quarantine stations. Then there are 75 notified points of entry at various seaports. There are 75 means plant quarantine station and 42 notified points of entry at various seaports, 19 airports, and 14 land frontiers. There are 65 inland container depots where the material from the different seaports are brought and cleared by the custom and plant quarantine organization. And besides, there are 11 foreign post office through which that the plant material comes by post also. Now, I would like to brief about the National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources in context to the plant quarantine. It was established in January 1976. Its headquarters is in New Delhi with 10 regional stations in different parts of the country. And it is a nodal agency for exchange of germ-less material of agri-horticulture and agri-silvicultural crops for research purpose in the country. It has also been entrusted with the quarantine responsibilities in respect to germplasm of their crops. And the director of NBPGR has been empowered to issue the permits for import of seeds and planting material which are meant for research purpose. Then these are the plant quarantine regulation with respect to weeds in our country. As I told, the plant quarantine regulation of import into India order, this is the main regulation of plant quarantine. And under clause 312 and schedule 8 of the plant quarantine order 2003, the weed species are listed. And presently 57 weed species are listed as quarantine weeds in the order. Actually, when this plant quarantine order was formed in 2003, that time actually we identified 62 weed species which were included in schedule 8, but later 31 weed species were removed. And now last year we have added some more weed species into this quarantine schedule, and now there are total 57 weed species. And in this legislation, there is a provision that no consignment of seed or grain contaminated with quarantine weed is permitted unless it is devitalized. And also in plant quarantine, we are following the weed risk assessment so that before importing any plant species, we can assess the weed risk, and if any plant material has the potential to become the weed, so we can prevent its import. As you all know that weeds are just like other crop plants in size, form, morphological and physiological characters, and belong to the plant families to which crop plant belongs. And I have given here the definition of weed, and about 3,500 plant species worldwide have been described as weeds. And for Indian region, 169 species have been classified as weeds of agricultural lands. And there are 975 weed species which are present in other countries and not reported from India. This actually table myself and Dr. Yaduraju sir prepared from a book, that Geographical Atlas of World Weeds. So according to that book, these are the 975 weed species which are present in these countries and not reported from India. And in this, Australia and New Zealand tops the list with 195 species, followed by African countries with 181, Southeast Asia and Japan 150, Middle East 118, South America 102, Europe 80, Central America 33, and Russia 22 species. Then we actually must know how the weeds gain entry into our country. So first of all, they come as a contaminant of crop seeds. You might be knowing that Parthenium hysterophorus and Phalaris minor, they have been introduced in our country, and it is believed that both of these weeds were introduced along with the large scale wheat imports from USA and Mexico. And then as ornamental plant, a number of plants which were introduced as ornamental plants have turned out to be serious weed in India. These include Opuntia species, Lantana camara, and Eichhornia crespes. And there is a long list of other ornamental plants which have already been introduced in our country. I will show later. And then there is another source of contaminants of packing material and feed. So through packing material and feed also weeds can come into our country. Then as accidental import, As you know that there are some weed seeds and plant material of some species which can adhere to the clothes, shoes, aircraft tires and body of animals and can be accidentally brought into India. And also earlier our government used to import that used machinery, agricultural machinery from other countries. So importation of used agricultural machinery imposes a substantial weed seed import risk. These are the weed species of quarantines which are listed in the Schedule 8 of the quarantine order. So these are 57 weed species. And then what quarantine measures we should follow to prevent the introduction of exotic weeds into India? So first of all, the introduction of exotic weeds into India should be prevented by suitable phytosanitary regulations. Imported seed planting material should be subjected to thorough inspection by weed specialists at all point of entry, and all imported used vehicles and agricultural machinery should be inspected and must be cleaned if contaminated with soil, straw, chaff or plant debris, and import of straw should be stopped. And also by raising the awareness of everyone to the risk that new plant importation can cause, we can reduce the impact of weed introduction. And besides, there are some other suggestions. So there is here I would like to inform that there is a need to review the phytosanitary regulation which pertains to the weeds, because as I told that there are 975 weed species in other countries which are not reported from India, but we have included only 57 weed species in our plant quarantine order. So there is a need to review the Schedule 8 and some more that serious means noxious weed species which can come to our country from other countries. Those should be included in Schedule 8 of plant quarantine order. Then bulk imports of planting material should be discouraged as far as possible, because the weed introduction risk increases in proportion to the quantity of material. It is so because thorough examination and treatment of bulk consignment is difficult, and the area under cultivation becomes too large for effective monitoring of the crops. If it becomes absolutely essential to import propagating material in bulk, it should be imported from seed companies, agencies which are reputed to produce seed or planting material under strict phytosanitary conditions. Actually, when this new policy on seed development was brought, so quantitative restriction of the import of propagating material was lifted. So since then, our seed companies are importing that plant material in bulk, and that is actually very problematic for the introduction of wheat seed into our country, because entire consignment cannot be inspected. Only some representative samples are drawn, and on the basis of the examination of those seed samples, the entire consignment is released. And because it goes directly to the field, so if any wheat seed is there, that can easily introduce in our country. Then bulk import of consumption should be devitalized, making them unfit for planting, and these should be processed immediately on arrival under supervision of quarantine officials. Then a lot of bulk import is there to actually stabilize our this public distribution system. Our government of India is importing time to time grains, and that actually should be devitalized, because we after import those grains are distributed at a public distribution system. And as we all know that there is a tendency of our farmers and other persons, if they will come to know that this wheat seed has come from Australia, so they will grow in their field, and also before their processing, the grains are cleaned, and whatever debris including wheat seeds are there, that ultimately go to field, and likewise that weeds can introduce easily. Then all imports, whether for consumption or planting or commercial for research purpose, should be done under import permit only, and all conditions mentioned in the permit should be strictly followed. Whatever consignment are imported, that should come, that should be import under an import permit, because in import permit we can mention our condition and then the exporting country has to certify that consignment as per our plant quarantine requirement. So there is a need that everything should come under the import permit. Then all the plant material being brought by passenger coming to India must be handed over to the plant quarantine officials for inspection at the international airport, seaport, where separate plant quarantine counters should be established urgently. Actually, in our country, the siege and searching powers at international airports are with custom only, and there is no scanner to scan the things for any plant material. So if custom refers to the plant quarantine official, then only we can see. Otherwise, many people are bringing that seed material or fruits or some plants, and they are taking away. They are not actually submitting for plant quarantine clearance. So as in other countries like Australia and New Zealand, they used to mention inside the airport, if you are carrying any plant material, you must declare it, otherwise that penalty will be there. And if somebody is not declaring, and at the end actually they compulsorily screen all the plant material. If anybody is found carrying any plant material, they are fined with $100. So that type of system should be there in our country, and also a separate plant quarantine counter should be there at all international airport, and separate scanner should also be there. At the international post offices, all the mail should be passed through some kind of detection or scanning system, as is done at the time of security check, and intercepted plant material should be passed on to plant quarantine official for inspection. In fact, a plant quarantine official should be posted at each of the international post office to coordinate the interception of planting material and their dispatch to plant quarantine service for inspection before release. A lot of that flower seeds and some other type of seeds we have seen are coming through international post office, because the persons, Indian persons who are living in that other countries, they are sending some sort of plant material to their relatives in country. So either that should be, whatever plant material should be there, it should be scanned and it should be referred to the plant quarantine. And also a plant quarantine official should be posted at all international post offices, so that whatever plant material is coming, that should be checked from quarantine point of view. Then domestic quarantine is as important as the international quarantine, and therefore planting material should be moved from one state to another, or from one place within a state to another under strict phytosanitary conditions. As you know that in our country, domestic quarantine is not being followed. So because the agriculture is a state subject, so it is difficult to implement by the union government. And because we are not following proper domestic quarantine, this herbicide resistant biotypes of Felis minor has been spread in entire country. First of all, the herbicide resistance was reported in Haryana and Punjab, which are the major wheat producing state. And because there was no domestic quarantine, and the seed is being sent to other wheat growing areas, so now that herbicide resistant biotypes has been spread in entire wheat growing belt of the country. Then periodic workshop meeting at national level involving concerned department may be held to discuss common problems and impediments so as to help the national crop improvement program. And then the weed risk assessment should be made compulsory in plant quarantine, because whenever anybody wants to import any plant species, so it should be assessed through weed risk assessment system. And if that species has the potential to become a weed, that should not be allowed for import in the country. Then I would like to tell how actually we detect and identify the weeds in quarantine. In quarantine, actually, our objective to detect and mechanically remove the weed seeds. Actually, this thing I am talking about the NBPGR, and to release the material which is free from weed seed. So for examine any weed sample, that seed sample for the presence of weed seeds, so we need white enamel tray then sieves of different mesh sizes. Then we need stereoscopic binocular, forceps, battery plates, sample container, labels, reference collection of the weed seed, and some illustrative seed atlas. Then first, actually, we do the visual examination. So for visual examination, we spread the each and every sample in a thin uniform layer, and then we examine with the help of forceps. If that seed are small in size, then we use stereoscopic binocular or hand lens to examine the seed sample. And then what we remove and collect all the weed seeds, whatever that plant debris or seeds other than the crop seed, we collect them. Then we segregate all the weed seeds on the basis of their shape, size, color, texture, and presence of any attachment. Then thereafter we identify those weed seeds. So we actually use 3 methods to identify the weed seeds. On the basis of morphological characters of weed seeds by consulting identification keys. So because I am since long time I am working in plant quarantine, so now I can easily identify on the basis of morphological characters. We have some reference collection also, and then we have a number of identification keys. We have one seed identification kit also with us, and then we have developed one digital identification keys, like suppose we have intercepted some triangular dark green color of wheat seed. So if in search we will type triangular dark brown color seed, so it will show all triangular dark brown color seed, and easily we can identify with the help of that. Then whatever wheat seed we are unable to identify on the basis of morphological characters, those actually we grow under containment. We have containment facility at MBPGR, and then we grow those seeds up to flowering stage only. We don't allow that plant to grow up to fruiting stage, and we observe all floral and that vegetative characters. And here I have given we have one weed identification guide with us, where that maximum plant species are given. So we observe the vegetative and floral characters, and then we identify with the help of that seed identification guide. And then now actually, because you know that majority of the weeds which belong to Poaceae family, their seed and plants are very identical, and it is very difficult to identify them on the basis of morphological characters as well as vegetative and floral characters. So we identify and we confirm their identification using molecular techniques. And these are some weed seeds. We have intercepted a number of weed seeds from the introduced germplasm. So these are some weed species which we recently intercepted from different crops and from different countries. And these are some noxious weeds which have already been introduced. You all know about these weed species. And this is some I was telling that these 68 weeds have been introduced in the form of ornamental plants. These all were actually imported as ornamental plants in the country, and now they have become weeds in the country. These are all 68 weed species. And at NBPGR, we have developed this weed information system. So what we are doing, because actually weeds are crop specific and season specific, and whatever suppose weed species are reported in a particular crop in our country, the same may not be in other countries. So we are developing this weed information system. So we are actually appended to the database the crop specific and country specific weed species, and then we can actually search the country wise and crop wise and family wise the weed species. Then I will open my next presentation. is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, doctor.
So as that actually VDisc assessment is a computer-based system which contains 49 questions about plants, climatic requirements, their biology and dispersal mechanism. So this is actually the in Excel sheet, and here we have to write the botanical name of that species which we want to assess, then its common name, then its family name, and then the so this is the questionnaire of 49 questions. First, we have to collect the information about the plant species which we want to assess. Then we have to give answer here. You see, now score is 14. If I will write here Y, so here we have to give our response, and that we have given the score to every question. So when for no, one score will be given, and if we will write Y, then another score will be given. So previously it was no. If I will write Y here, then the score will change. So the score has become now 11. Earlier it was 14. So likewise, we have to give answer to these questions, and the answer to these questions generate a numerical score, which is reflected here. So if that score is between 0 to 6, it means that plant species has no weed potential and it cannot become a weed in any country. And if that score is between 7 to 12, then that plant species have the potential to become a weed and it will become a common weed. And if that score is higher than 12, then that will become a problematic weed. So according to the score, we can decide whether we have to permit the import of that plant species or not. And with this system, we also can come to know if we assess any weed species, then how serious or problematic or invasive and aggressive that weed species can be. It depends on its score. Suppose some species is getting score 20. So it means that weed, that plant species or that weed is a problematic weed. So like this, we can assess the weed potential of any plant species. And this is simple one Excel sheet, and we have made provision in this sheet that whatever weed species we will assess, that will automatically store in the database, and anytime we can come to know about its assessment, and we can take printout also. And we have already provided that entire software to Directorate of Weed Research Jabalpur, because one scientist, Dr. Srikant, was deputed to NBPGR for his training at NBPGR in weed risk assessment, and he knows and he is now able to do the weed risk assessment of any weed species or plant species. I would like to share one more presentation. As I told you that VDISC assessment is a question-based scoring system which contains 49 questions about plants, climate, biological attributes. Then the objective of the VDISC assessment is for invasive weeds is to decide which species should be listed on quarantine weed list and to decide which new species infestation should be controlled or removed in order to prevent their spread. Then this should be the risk assessment protocol. Plant species considered suitable for risk assessment include any exotic species that is not yet present, has a restricted distribution in the risk area, and is planned to be introduced and commercially used on a large scale. The rating system allocates a score to the species for biogeographical, ecological, and experience linked aspects. The scores of the 12 questions are summed up and the species are classified into high risk, medium risk, and low risk. This is actually another risk assessment which we have prepared for manual that scoring. If somebody doesn't want to assess the risk as per the previous system, so they can easily assess through this system. So we have to answer these questions like about climatic match. Does the Indian climate suits to the species? So if that answer is no, then 0 score will be given. If answer is yes, then 2 score will be given. Then next question is about the status of species in India. Is the species native to India? Suppose we are assessing the risk of our indigenous weed species. So if yes, then the score will be 0, and if no, then score will be 2. And number 3, geographic distribution in India. In how many countries does the species occur? If the species occurs in 0 or 1 country, then score will be 1. If a species occurs in 2 to 5 countries, then score will be 2. And if a species occurs in more than 5 countries, then score will be 3. Then this range size of global distribution. How is the size of the global range, native and introduced? So if range is small, species is restricted to a small area within 1 continent, then score will be 0. If range is large and covers more than 1 continent, then score will be 3. Then history as an agricultural weed elsewhere. Is the species reported as a weed from somewhere else? If answer is no, then score will be 0. If answer is yes, then score will be 3. Then taxonomy. Does the species have weedy congeners? If answer is no, then score will be 0. If yes, it will be 3. Then seed viability and reproduction. How many seeds do the species approximately produce? If it produces few seeds or no viable seed, then score will be 1. Many seeds, then 3. If we do not know, then we will give score 2. Then vegetative growth. Allocate species to one of the following if more than 1 statement applies. Take the one with the highest score. Species has no vegetative growth that leads to lateral spread. Score will be 0. Species has the ability to re-sprout from stumps or stem layering or stem root if touching the ground. Score will be 2. Species has bulbs or forms. Score will be 1. Species has well-developed rhizomes or stolons for lateral spread. Score will be 4. Then species fragments can be dispersed and produce new plants, then score will be 4. And for other, or if we do not know, then score will be 2. Then dispersal methods. Allocate species to one of the following if more than 1 statement applies. Take the one with the highest score. If fruits are freshly and smaller than 5 centimeter in diameter, score will be 2. If fruits are fleshy and larger than 10 centimeter in length or diameter, score will be 0. Fruits are dry and seeds have well-developed structures for long distance dispersal by wind. Score will be 4. Fruits are dry and seeds have well-developed structure for long distance dispersal by animals like spikes or thorns. Score will be 4. If a species has mechanism for self-dispersing, score will be 1. And if others and do not know, it will be 2. Then life span. What is the life form of the species? If the species is a small animal, then score will be 0. Species is a large animal, will be 2. Species is a woody perennial, score will be 4. If a species is a small herbaceous perennial, it will be 2. Species is a large herbaceous perennial, score will be 4. And species is a free floating aquatic plant, then score will be 4. If we do not know or others, score will be 2. Then habitats of the species. Allocate species to one of the following if more than one statement applies. Take the one with the highest score. So this is riparian habitats, bogs or swamps, wet grassland, dry grassland, closed forests, lakes, lake shores and rivers, others. Then population density. What is the local abundance of the species? If a species occurs as widely scattered individuals, will be 0. Species forms occasionally patches of high density, score will be 2. Species forms large and dense monocultures, score will be 4. Then we will total the entire score. If that score is between 3 to 20, then risk is low and the species is unlikely to pose a threat to agriculture or environment. If that score is risk and the species is likely to become a threat to agriculture or environment if naturalized. Here I would like to inform all of you that we have developed one digital herbarium of wheat seed intercepted in imported germplasm, and every year we are appending whatever new weed species we are intercepting. So here we have given the image of the weed seed, then what is its common name, scientific name, its family, then distribution in which countries this is present, and what is its status in India, whether it is exotic or indigenous, and that it's a brief description of the seed. So likewise, it will be helpful in identification of weed seeds, and when that sufficient number of weed species will be there, we will put it on NVPGR website, and it will be in public domain, and anyone can use this thing. So that's all. Thank you very much to everyone for listening me peacefully.
Thank you, Dr. Moolchand.
Thank you.
For such an informative talk on quarantine weeds procedure, followed by identification of whether it is really posing a risk according to our environment or not, and also telling about the rules and regulation. There are some questions, so we can in the discussion we can have 2-3 questions.
Yes,
if somebody wants, if you allow, Dr. Moolchand. So I
Yes,
saw in the chat
my
box,
pleasure to answer.
Yeah, please. Dr. A now was asking 2 questions, so he is willing to ask question. Dr. A now, are you there? Please ask. Dr. Rao, are you there? If Dr. Rao is not there right now, so I have just a question.
Hello, hello,
yes,
madam.
yes, please.
I am here, but I have sent it in the chat. Please read it and Moolchand answer.
Please wait one by one. Please don't. We are just communicating with Dr. Rao question to Dr. Moolchand. Just a moment. I'm just reading Dr. Rao question. It's almost all, Dr. Moolchand, it's all compliments to you from most of our listeners.
Achha, thank you very much to everyone.
Dr. Rao has asked, what about the screen sharing of the PowerPoint presentation? Is that used? You want to ask?
No. Later I have asked 2 questions. One is, as agriculture is a state subject, as Dr. Moolchand told, what are the measures taken in place for convincing individual states to have state quarantine as well, which is very important, and it needs to be, the message needs to be passed on to individual states. And another question is, the institutes like CGR institutes like ICRSAT and several institutes, the seed companies get a lot of material from other countries. How our quarantine department is collaborating with them and prevent the wheat seed entering into our India. Two questions I asked.
Sir, regarding the domestic
Yeah.
quarantine and to issue the phytosanitary certificate by the State Agriculture Department, our National Plant Protection Organization is organizing meetings time to time. They call Director Agriculture and Director Horticulture of all the states, and then they actually brief them, and also they take feedback about the domestic quarantine and about the different seed companies which are importing seeds into our country. So whatever large scale import is there, that is dealt by our National Plant Protection Organization, that is Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage. So propagating material in large quantities are permitted through the National Plant Quarantine Station New Delhi and Regional Plant Quarantine Station, 5 other regional plant quarantine station, that is Amritsar, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata and Bangalore. And whatever that written import quarantine methodology is there, if that in Directorate of Plant Protection Quarantine, they actually draw one representative sample, and that sample is examined in each laboratory, including wheat science laboratory. And when every section or every specialist of entomology, pathology, nematology and wheat science, they give their clearance, then only the material is released to the concerned seed company. And at NBPGR, as you know, that seed material meant for research purpose, and also the germ pelage, which is meant for the conservation in our national gene bank, that is actually being imported. And because the samples are small in size, so we examine 100% that seed material, and even so much that contamination, if high contamination is there in that seed material, then we segregate the wheat seeds, and because that is valuable germ pelage, and we take out the crop seed from that, and remaining thing we incinerate, and the valuable germ pelage we conserve in our national gene bank, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Mulchan.
Anybody else? One more question, please. We can have one more question.
Dr. Shobha.
Yeah, please, Dr. Das, please ask.
Yeah, Dr. Mulchan.
Yes, sir.
That in this information system where you are showing that low, medium, high risk,
yes, sir,
that 28 to 30. So you have taken this round figure, and the class also round figure, because I could make it that
yes,
it is because of that values are there, and we will be summing up at the end. So yes, there won't be any sort of any decimal or fraction. So that's why you have taken in round figure like 0 to 6 and 7 to like that. But yes, if sir, some values come in between 6 to 7, then what would be there? But it is there because your values are like that. You have taken and you are summing up at the end. So there won't be in this sort of decimal or fraction when you will sum up those things.
Actually, sir, it will not come in decimal because.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. That's why I could get it. That's why I'm not asking anything. But I got it. That's so that it won't come. So that's why you have made it like 0 to 6, then 7 to 40, like that.
Yes, sir.
So otherwise, if any values come in between 6 to 7, then what will happen? Then but what are the score you have made? From that score, this sort of values won't come.
Yes, actually, sir, if that score is 6, 7, between 6 and 7, it means we have to further evaluate it. We need more info. It means we have not answered all questions. We have to answer all questions, and thereafter, whatever score will come, it will be definitely. If that is
another thing, in one options you gave that the weeds which are having this vegetative propagation.
Yes, sir.
Which are not having vegetative propagation, and you have given the rank 0.
No, sir. For vegetative propagation, we have given a score 4 because that will be
that's what I'm telling. But you have given those who are not having vegetative propagation 0. That so one score. That score I'm telling because I don't know because these slides I cannot. If you can, that is you have given score 0 for the weeds which are not having vegetative propagation.
Actually,
But you
sir,
see, the seed propagated weed, particularly these annual weeds, they
Yes,
are
sir.
also having, I think, very much. They are very much invasive. Also, they can move. They can move like anything, and therefore,
yes.
because they are propagation through seed, and you have given their rank is 0, and it is there. I have seen. Just like
Actually,
our
sir,
good example is Parthenium, because it
before
is
you,
seed propagated. It's seed propagated.
yes, sir, because that have special quality, no, but because that is thermo and that.
There are so many other characteristics, but it is. But most of the
But actually, sir,
cases,
this system was validated, and then actually when we actually assessed a number of weed species which are actually problematic, then we came to the conclusion that because those who can be propagate vegetatively, they are more serious because they can propagate through by seed as well as by propagative means. So that's what that higher score is given for vegetative propagation, and 0 has been given to seed. So this has been validated, and then we came to know that this 0 should be given if that is propagated by seed.
That's
And
something that is these are two extreme. These are two extreme values. No, these are two extreme values.
Excuse me,
Yes,
Dr. Das, please, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Because whatever the suggestion, and you have, I think, very valid suggestion, which you can, I think, communicate to Dr. Bhushit also. So if it suits in his program, whatever
No
the software program is
Yeah.
so it
I-
can be
Dr.
incorporated
Sarma-
if it is.
I will discuss with you personally,
Yes,
sir,
yes,
and
that's
I need
fine.
your guidance.
Doc-
We can modify it, sir.
Okay. So
Dr.
I know
Mulchin,
this.
you just see the weed seed or you see the viability of the weed seed also? Do you test
Sir,
the viability of the weed seed or just on?
No, sir. Actually, whatever weed seeds we are unable to identify on the basis of morphological characters, those seeds we grow in containment area. Otherwise, so for publication purpose, whatever weed seeds we intercepted from the material which was imported in bulk, for those weed seeds we actually tested the viability just to know that for their store in for long time in storage, whether they are still viable or not, or otherwise whatever weed seeds we intercept from germplasm, if it is exotic nature, we generally don't grow, sir. For identification purpose only, we grow in containment area and we allow it up to flowering stage, and then we destroy it, sir. And whatever exotic weed seeds we intercept, that we actually revitalize by using that heat treatment method, 120 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. So then thereafter it cannot grow, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rao and Dr. Das. Through their questions, I think it contributed not only to them, but to us also.
Madam, I have last question, madam.
Please,
It may not be
please introduce yourself.
I am Dr. Vijay Manthe, sir. I am Assistant Professor of Agronomy working at University of Particle Science, Bagalkot, sir.
Please ask a quick question if it is not answered earlier.
Yes, yes. Actually, the question may not be up to this webinar, but just I wanted to know if you want to go for weed seed bank analysis, how long we should take emergence observation on emerging weeds in soil, sir?
I think it takes, I think one week is sufficient. No, actually, generally we grow in that laboratory in that wet paper method. So within 1 week, they actually germinate.
Hello, ma'am Sobha, can I say?
Yes, I'm just calling you as a separate comments. just a moment, please.
I need to go.
Okay. Then please go ahead, sir. We have Dr. Bhagirath Chauhan from Australia, and I'm just inviting him for his comment or question, whatever he likes to add over here.
No, there are not. There were few questions there, and sorry, I am actually away from my home. I'm traveling 2,000 kilometers from my home. So first thing, just last thing, when you're talking about seed bank, I don't think that in 1 week something will solve. If there are some hard seeded species, they won't germinate even for 4 years. I can tell you that one. Okay, so that's one thing. Second, I posted some questions. I don't know whether Madam Soba forgot that one. But first thing, we can't really say that, okay, one weed in one country will be a weed in another country. For example, neem. I posted that one there about neem. So neem is a weed in Australia here. And we can't really, you had one, I think one column there that whether that particular species is a weed in another country or not. So I think we don't really need to include that type of thing. So I think that's all my comments. But my question was, how did you come up with this, scoring? You mentioned that 0 to 4 or 5. How did you validate these questions?
Actually, sir, first we prepared the questionnaire. Questionnaire means what that characteristics a weed can have. On the basis of that, we prepared the questionnaire, and then we gave some score to the each characteristic. And thereafter, we validated, we assessed some known that weed species which are problematic. And when that the score, they got high score, then we thought that this is correct method, because we assessed a number of crop species and weed species also, and the crop species got that lesser score, and weed species got higher score.
So when you do this type of analysis, do you really consult other people also, other scientists working in different countries or different areas?
Yes, sir. Actually, I used to consult Dr. Steve Atkins at University of Queensland, Brisbane.
That's what.
I worked with him, and then 2 scientists are in New Zealand.
Okay.
Dr.
Anyway,
William.
I think I commend you for this good, work, everything. But I have a suggestion. For example, if you just consult me, I'm not really perfect. Okay.
Yes.
So I feel that we need to really consult different peoples in different countries and in different regions. Everyone has got different.
Yes.
I think everyone, because this is science, and I think we can really improve this system. And to me, definitely we need this thing, and we can really improve but we really need to include different opinions.
Yes, you are absolutely right, sir. There is a scope to improve these things, and there are some. I understand and I agree that there are some deficiencies, but whatever, when we revalidated it, we got some good results. That's what we thought that we can use these things to assess the plant species. But there is a scope, and I will follow your guidance, sir, and we will contact some more persons, and then we will try to revalidate. We will revalidate.
Thanks for good work. Good work. Thanks, Ma'am Soba.
Thank you, Dr. Bhagia. Thank you for joining this webinar and spending some time with us. Thank you. So, Dr. Moolchand and others, we don't have sufficient time to have more questions. So, Dr. Moolchand is always accessible through email or through the phone. So, if you still want to add something or you want to inquire something, you can ask through these communication means. I just have a short question with Dr. Moolchand. That you have said that 57 plant quarantine weeds are listed as a quarantine weed in India. But when I just went through the website of PPQS, there are only 31 weeds, which is depicted in the websites. So please, it will be, good for us, all of us, if you give remaining 26 weeds to us. What
Yes,
are those
I will
weeds?
send through WhatsApp the gazette notification.
Yeah, those 26 weeds are not there in the website.
I will send it. And if you will go through that latest version of plant quarantine order at our Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare site, there it is given. The Google might have shown that the old version.
The old one it is showing.
I will send through mail.
Just a one query, not a question, just a query. You have mentioned around some 900 or something weeds in totality in different continents, some like 195 in Australia, followed by some 100 plus in New Zealand, followed by some other. So are those, all weeds are different, like 195 different weeds in Australia, 110 weeds are different in New Zealand, 96 weeds in other continents. So are those different weeds, or some weeds are same? If so, then the list may be less if some common weeds are there.
No, those are serious weed species. Actually, we consulted one book titled Geographical Atlas of World Weeds, and myself and Dr. Yaduraj sir, we actually, in that book, it is mentioned that which we has which is status in that country, that distribution is given and its rank is given. So we have counted all that in that
I
book.
am asking, sorry for the interruption. I'm just asking, you have just totaled all quality names weeds?
No,
and
no,
some
195 principal weeds.
in
There are
Australia.
3 categories there: common weed, serious weed we have counted. They have common weed, principal weed, and serious weed. 3 categories are there, and we counted all serious weed species.
But Dr. Mulchan,
that's what I'm asking.
Dr. Mulchan, what Dr. Shobha is asking, because
Mr.
out of
Rajesh,
that 195 weed, there are
how
some weeds
many
are common.
commons are
That
in
common
New
weed
Zealand?
would be in
Yeah,
some
that's
countries
what-
there are common weeds.
Yeah,
No, these are serious weed species. Some more species may be there which are reported in those countries.
No,
and
these
not
are serious. Suppose 195 in Australia. So suppose
Yes.
134 in New Zealand or India. So
Common.
there would be commonalities. There would be
So
some
then
weeds.
the number
Because
may be
some
less.
weeds are common. There's some weeds may be common.
Yes, sir. Some weeds are common.
Some
Exactly.
weeds
Yes.
is
Now I
common,
got
yeah.
it. Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for
And
clarifying.
Dr. Yaduraju is waving his hand, so please, I'm just inviting Dr. Yaduraju as an expert and as well as comment and answer. So please unmute yourself. You are muted. Dr. Yaduraju, you are muted.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the question you are asking to
Namaskar, sir.
Dr. Mulchan, Namaste. Dr. Mulchan is that, it's a total number. So it will be repetition in many countries. So as you rightly said, the absolute number could be smaller than 975. But the idea is to say that, we are in this free trade scenario. So many serious weeds in those countries have a potential to get into our country. For example, we have been importing wheat in a very big scale from Australia, and 195 weeds are there of serious nature. Not all can become a potential weed in our country, but just to give a figure, we have calculated that, went through page by page of the geographical atlas of the world weeds. So point here is that I think I would like to ask Mulchan, after identifying those weeds, can we not shortlist them, subject them to weed risk analysis, and because out of them maybe 80 to 90% may not have the potential to become weeds in India. I think maybe it requires a lot of manpower. I know you are a single man army in the quarantine system, but I wish you had more this thing, or maybe you can apply for a project and get evaluated all these 975 plus weeds, and then shortlist them subject to weed risk analysis, and then because whatever the listing we have made of 68 weeds, the quarantine weeds in the Schedule 8, I think they are far too less. Of course, we made a beginning. It's well done, but I think we need to, you need to go intensively. And as Dr. Bhagirath Chavan was mentioning, I think it's work in progress. I think we need to do more work, and we need to consult more people, and we need to refine the system to make it a more robust and mature system. But anyway, I think a good beginning has been made, and I'm sure that your lecture was very illuminating, because this thing was not known to many of our weed scientists, but it is better they know, so that we can be quite aware of the situation, actual situation. And the particularly last seminar also, you did raise an important question. As scientists, we can do a lot of things. We jump to identifying a weed and wrongly identify it, and then went for a publication, and then without knowing the consequences. You did mention last time, I remember, that you talked about Phalaris paradoxa. I'm sure Phalaris paradoxa is not there in India, but some publication, some scientists claimed paradoxa is not there. And then if you are importing a weed contaminated with Phalaris paradoxa, then you cannot say no. Under free trade WTO agreement, you cannot simply say no. They say you already have paradoxa, why you are stopping us? So I think as scientists, I request all these scientists, and also the Indian Society of Weed Science for publication in the Indian Journal of Weed Science, that we need to, particularly new weeds, you need to be doubly sure that your identification is foolproof. I think that's very important we have to do. And there are many other things, but anyway, because of shortage of time, I would like to, I know I don't want to take more time, but to just again compliment the ISWS as well as DWR for identifying a very good topic and identifying a good resource person for sharing his thing. And I'm sure this has given a lot of food for thought. I'm sure that more, with more feedback and other things, maybe we can have one more seminar, maybe webinar, maybe at a later date. So I think another thing is about, you know, mentioned about the local quarantine, domestic quarantine.
Yes.
Absolutely, it is not
there.
working in India. Unfortunately, it's not working in India. Last time also I did make a mention about Parthenium. The same time we had Parthenium in Australia and India, but situation in India is, it is no more a weed. It is almost a sort of a natural, plant, naturalized plant in India. I think we have to accept that. I think, but it's a state subject, I agree. But when the glyphosate is banned, Punjab went up and Telangana went up and they started banning, Kerala banned it. Why can't they take the same, the same issue seriously with regard to the alien weeds? So I think there's a double standard. I think we need to correct it. And you are, probably in your training program with Director of Agriculture and Joint Directors, I think you need to educate them. And of course, as I told, there is a work in progress. And identification of seeds is a very, very specialized subject. And I know when I was in IRA and later when I moved to Jabalpur also, I used to get samples from Department of Plant Protection Quarantine asking me to identify. I'm not a taxonomist. I don't have the expertise. And more, I can come down to maybe genus level, but it may not be in the species level. So I think we need to sort of develop the expertise, and maybe with your use of technology, maybe you can have a digital repository of weed seeds. And then I think you had to work up DWR and quarantine. I think we are not worked closely, I must admit. I think maybe under the new leadership of Dr. Mishra, probably you can collaborate more intensively, more closely, develop submit a project, get more funding, and make this system foolproof, because you have a urgent problem that the ship is docked in the port, and they're giving demurrage charges, and you want it to be cleared. That they are forcing you to say whether we should allow it or reject it. So in that short time, I don't think anybody can take a decision, an important decision like accepting the consignment or rejecting the consignment. I think so. I think we need to use technology for a quick identification of the weeds. I think I will stop here and let other people to give their comments. Thank you very much for inviting me, Shobha and Sushil Kumar and Mishra, and congratulations to Moochan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, thank you very much for your valuable guidance, and I assure you that we will take this thing in a project mode, and I will discuss with Dr. Mishra, sir. We will definitely prepare one project and we will work on it. And also, with the kind permission of chair, I would like to tell that whatever weed species were included in the plant quarantine order, that credit goes to Dr. Yaduraju, sir, because when I joined in '96 at Chennai, we intercepted so many weed species, but there was no provision for weeds in the legislation. So then one committee was constituted under the chairmanship of the founder director of the DWR, Dr. B.M. Khan, sir, and Dr. Yaduraju, sir, was a member in that committee. So many other members were there, but only Dr. Yaduraju, sir, only guided me, and then we could able to identify 62 weed species. And in the history of plant quarantine, first time weeds were included in the plant quarantine regulation, and the credit goes to Dr. Yaduraju, sir. Otherwise, you see, I don't know when it was to take place. Thank you very much, sir.
Weeds were not called as a pest at all. So
pest,
under
exactly.
the pest definition, weeds were not coming.
Exactly, sir.
Only pathogens were there and the insects were there. Unfortunately, weeds were not there. But at least I think we did Dr. Bhan and our committee did a good job in getting the weeds included as a pest, and then of course quarantine 6 came in. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Yadiraju and Dr. Moolchan, for your generous accepting the challenge which you faced. Now, finally, I would like to invite Dr. J.S. Mishra for his comment before I say vote of thanks to all of you.
Not special any other comment, but as already narrated by our senior Dr. Yadiraju Sahab, that quarantine weeds are very much important, as I told in the beginning also. And sir, since we have now started working on this, and as you've seen that we have started the webinar series, especially for the quarantine weeds and pest weed risk analysis and weed risk assessment. So certainly in days to come or year to come, we will move and we will further intensify our program. And the most important thing which we have already told that of course there are many weeds coming from the other countries, but in our own country, like say Felis minor has become resistant to many herbicides, but still we don't have any regulatory mechanism that can stop the moving the Felis minor seed from North India to the other parts of the country. So although there is a guidelines in place, as already told by Dr. Moolchan, there is a proper kit for identification, but there is a need to, I think, the strong policy, so that as you have rightly pointed out, that if we can go for the banning of the useful herbicides in within no time, we can take the decision. So why can't we take decision for such type of noxious weeds which are moving from this part of the country to other parts? So with this, I congratulate the Dr. Moolchan for very nicely presenting and giving very thoughtful things to the audience, and especially for our new scientists who joined in the agriculture university system or the ICR system. And this was a very eye-opening topic for them also. And certainly we will be in touch. We will formulate the new programs, especially for the quarantine weeds. And we will see in future that our collaboration will be much more stronger than ever before. So with this, I must congratulate Dr. Moolchan once again, and all the participants, especially for Dr. Yadiraju Sahab, Dr. Bhagirath Chauhan Sahab, and many other senior colleagues who took active participation in the discussion. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Mishra. Thank you once again to all of you. And really, it was a very good topic and thought-provoking topic. And I think it needs another series of this webinar. So maybe Dr. Moolchan or some other person, we will identify for part 2 of this quarantine week. And here also, I also want to share one of my experience when I went to USDA for biomolecule work, and I took few weeds. I wanted to take few weeds. So I was not allowed to bring those weeds in live form. So I made the powder form, and then I got the certificate, I got the process, then only I was able to bring those weed seed with me. So it is really important. Even the 0.001% probability may become 99.9999. We don't know. So thank you very much. So I would like to thank Dr. J.S. Mishra for this webinar, for sharing this webinar and giving the thought-provoking topic for today's discussion, and Dr. Sushil Kumar for his support, and Dr. Moolchan Singh, who is the speaker of this webinar. And he really presented nicely all the aspects of quarantine weed and weed risk analysis, and even he shared his program in Excel sheet, and he was willing to share with us even the publicly. So he is so generous in that way. So I must say thank you very much to Dr. Moolchan Singh, and I would like to thank to Dr. Yadiraju for his comments, and Dr. Bhagirath Chauhan. He always joined our program. So I'm very much thankful for him also. Dr. Rao and all the weed scientists who has joined from our DWR colleagues for his support, their supports, and all the new scientists, students, and all the persons who have joined this webinar. So once again, thank you very much. And it has become very live. It was become a very live. So as we were expecting that it may be interactive topic. So thank you once again to all of you. Thank you very much. So with this remark, I would like to ask permission from Dr. Mishra ji. Can we close this
Yes.
webinar right
Thank you.
now?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yadav Sahab, namaskar, sir. Because he joined, I didn't see.
Namaste, sir.
So here you have moments now to discuss. Webinar is closed, so you have moments.
No, your movement, my submission is also there.
Yeah,
so it is this is happening once in a month, and you have just restricted. You have made restriction in timings also. Just to you should make you extend some time more time for this also. Just like
in fact, I wanted to say thank you to Shobha as well as Dr. Mishra for sticking it to 90 minutes.
Yes.
I think we can't afford to, you can't give attention, not afford. As I'm a retired person, I can sit for a day, but you can't be attentive. So 90 minutes is a good time that
Shobha, he wants to discuss
and many
with
things
you.
can be done.
He wants to discuss with you. So you can.
We can do one-to-one basis. We'll do it to Dr. Das. Thank you.
No, that thing is, this is not that, but all the time, whenever we ask anything, we give some clarification, some from these, because there are a lot of loopholes in the, I think that is, I'm not thinking that we need some correction, verification of the things also, that whatever being presented, that all may not be correct or true, because this is a discussion session. This is discussion session we are doing for weed science, for supplement or whatever this thing. That's why. Yeah, that's why I was asking.
We can sit in a small group of 5 to 10 people. As I told you, this is a work in progress. We can sit in a 5 to 10 small group, and then Mulchan can come up with the pain points, major issues which needs to be sorted out. And Bhagira Chavan has also can suggest a few experts. And then maybe not more than 5 to 10 people can sit together and then try to fine tune the system that he has developed. I'm sure that it has a lot of deficiencies, but there's a lot of scope for improvement. And your points are well taken. How can it be zero for seed production and the seeds, and for vegetative propagation 4? It's such a a little contradictory. And so I think we say several such issues may be there. I think maybe we can sit face to face.
This is just
if the Mishraji, COVID permitting, and Mishraji can happily host a small group in Jabalpur or Delhi, and before that, we can suggest a few experts. Of course, from India, we can participate face to face if COVID permitting. Otherwise, some foreign experts also we can bring them online in a virtual meeting. But I think, it's very, very important. Let this be fixed, because we don't want to have many more weeds like Parthenium and water hyacinth, and lantana is not a weed anymore. So I think we need to be very, very serious about this issue. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So one thing also, sir, I wanted to just one student, that MSc or I think PhD student, that he is Mr. Bijay from I think Bhagalkot, he was telling na. So he was asking some question. Of course, this is not the platform for asking that sort of question. This is research issue for MSc PhD thesis research issue. But he didn't get the answer because he was not he was asking something. Yeah, he was something different asking.
You people are expert.
That Dr. Bhagirath Singh Chauhan only told, but this is I have only 5 theses on weed seed bank evaluation, how to evaluate the weed seed bank from soil in crop topping system. That's what. But it is not the platform. It is not the platform for asking. But the student, he is just our student, MSc PhD student, and he is asking these things. So we should at least respect that. We should try to answer this, whatever is that. Otherwise, they get disheartened. That's what I'm telling.
I think just 1 minute. I just want to add one thing. I think first of all, we should really respect whoever is presenters. And to me, this is not really the time or when you have 100 participants. We can't really discuss this thing. It should be really in a small group.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you may feel bad, but I think that's what I really feel. It's not really when you have 150 participants. We can't really discuss this in all detail. But definitely, Dr. Das, I am happy to discuss with you, and I think it can be with maybe 10 people's group, okay? Yeah. Because there are lots of other, and I think need to really give that impression to even some students are also watching these things. Yep, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to all.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.